Cardi B just went ballistic on Joe Budden for calling her a singles artist. Throughout Cardi B's career, she's pretty much only released one album ever, The Invasion of Privacy, and has been able to fly under the radar and release music whenever she pleases. Now, The Invasion of Privacy thrived off the hype of the song Bodak Yellow, but the thing about Bodak Yellow was a reverse engineered version of Kodak Black's hit song No Flockin'. So in a way, many hip-hop critics and analysts view Cardi B as a lazy rapper because her biggest song that got her popping initially rode the wave and sound of another rapper, and ever since she got hot, she stopped releasing music consistently. The narrative around Cardi B is that she's scared to release an album because she doesn't want to flop. Unfortunately, us hip-hop fans have made our favorite rappers, creatives, and artists slaves to the metric of first week sales. We've essentially created the ideology that if a product isn't hot the first week it comes out, it will never have any replay value, and that is just a flawed way of thinking. Most of the songs that we view as the greatest songs that we always skipped in the playlist or we always heard, we've heard all along, but we just never paid any attention. And it grew on us through age, through time, through maturity, witnessing and experiencing things in real life. And that is the beauty of music. So when it comes to Cardi B though, I actually understand the hate because she doesn't put out enough music. The big three of women music is Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion. But when it comes to albums being released, that is a very major weak point for Cardi B. And this Joe Budden clip is what started it all.
Cardi.
Yeah,
I would absolutely
We'll never get another Cardi album again.
And you've been standing on that.
I am standing on it.
And they talked about that in the office when I went up there. Like,
but now that Cardi got something dropping with my man Rob, Big Rob on Friday.
Saw that.
That's going to be crazy, but that's what Cardi's about to be now. Just a single artist.
Joe Budden is a very important and big cultural figure. And although usually I'll call this out as hate, I do have to go with Joe on this one because she doesn't put out enough music, and that she's almost in a way scared to put out new music because she doesn't want to be compared to the new artist, she doesn't want to be compared to the old artist, and she's just tired of being compared. Nicki Minaj is levels above every female artist, so in a way, Cardi B is number 2. So when the Lottos come, the Ice Spices come, the Flo Millis come, everyone is almost indirectly compared to Cardi B. This video clip was just the tip of the iceberg, as Cardi B has always had negative feelings towards Joe Budden and had the feeling that Joe Budden was biased towards her and was pretty much just foul. Now, the first thing that was pretty much foul that Joe Budden did was interview Tasha K. Now, who is Tasha K? Tasha K is this black woman who's a blogger who created very negative and heinous lies about Cardi B, that she was a prostitute, that she does cocaine, that she has herpes, and some very negative things about her children. Now, she made a bunch of YouTube videos about her, and Cardi B got harassed for like $4 million in court, and she tried to move her money offshore because Cardi B got her money. Now, the second thing was, which I would say which was indirectly, is Joe Budden started to interview more Nicki Minaj. Now, after Nicki Minaj started coming on the Joe Budden podcast more often, Cardi B sort of fell back because she felt that Joe picked a side. And she would indirectly, every new rapper that came into the game, Lotto, Ice Spice, Flo Milli, they're always being compared to Cardi B, never Nicki. So Cardi B always felt that she was the comparison. She's always being compared to the new girls. She's always being compared to the old girls. That she was always just the poster child for women rappers, good or bad, and she was getting all the scrutiny.
Because you're not gonna lie, say here, I just want the album. I just want the this. No, you talk shit about every single I do. You compare old bitch to me. You compare new bitch to me. You compare every single bitch to me. You don't compare new bitches to new bitches. You don't compare old bitches to old bitches. You compare everybody has to beat Cardi B, a new bitch or old bitch. But it's Cardi B. If I suck so much to you, if I'm such a lazy artist, why the fuck Belcalis is coming in your fucking mouth? Belcalis.
To be fair though, Joe Budden doesn't only have this energy for Cardi B, as he had the same energy for Lil Yachty back in 2016 when he came on Everyday Struggle. Joe asked Lil Yachty, hey, what deal you signed to? Is it 360? And he simply didn't know. Now at this time, Lil Yachty was the poster child for whack rappers. He had the red hair with the box braids. He had the yellow and red teeth. He was wearing weird clothing. He was in the Kanye, the fashion shoe. He was the poster child for whack rappers. And that later led to the incident where Joe Budden and the Migos got on the BETs, as well as them released the song Ice Tray If a N-Word Hating Call him Joe Budden. Even when it comes to Drake, Joe Budden has had some very harsh things to say about Drake, that Drake is acting like a teenager in his last album For All the Dogs. Why is he with the young niggas such as the Kai Cenats and the Aiden Rosses and the Yachty's, that he needs to grow up? And to which I will say was partially true because it looked kind of weird. And I'm not saying it's because of the Kendrick Lamar beef. I'm just saying that he had Sexy Red, the people on his album just didn't really make any sense.
I don't understand why I keep getting harassed by this man. You want to interview or something? You want to hear my album so bad? If you want to hear my album so bad, you could pull up to my studio session. You could pull up. But I'm really sick and tired of you keeping my name in my name in your fucking mouth. And then you acting like you keeping it there because you really want a project from me. No, you want to tear my project down like you tear down every of my single. Like you tear down my single, you tear down my personal life, you tear down everything I fucking do. So it's not coming from a genuine place.
The reality is a lot of old rappers have a negative and almost animosity towards the younger generation of rappers. They didn't have to hustle as hard to market their music. They weren't on the corner stores. They weren't selling out their trunk. They didn't have to hustle or wait outside Funk Flex's office for 12 hours. They just put it on YouTube, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram. And the game has changed. I feel like people like Cardi B, she looks like she doesn't care about music. And I feel like that's why Joe Budden is so upset, right? This is someone who actually was a real MC, put out a lot of music, music, 501. And he feels like, this next generation of artists aren't even working as hard and they have all the tools at their fingertips and they're way more successful without even doing as much groundwork. Now to switch lanes, if you recall Drake in October of last year, around the time where he released For All the Dogs, he went on a ballistic rant dissing Joe Budden for being a failed rapper turned podcaster. Now their beef started in 2016 when Drake released Views, his biggest commercial album ever, and Joe Budden gave him a backhand compliment saying, "That kid on the album I heard sounds real effing uninspired." That's what I think. I think that music is real good, but you can't fool a real ninja. The Joe Budden and Drake beef would involve multiple diss records being exchanged back and forth. But years down the line, Drake would drop a bombshell rant against Joe Budden, which took the cake. At Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because that is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember, you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check, and the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty Onsi jeans to screw up their face to Mood Music 29 and pretend you are the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. This was wild disrespectful, but Drake wasn't lying. And coincidentally enough, Cardi B took the same angle going at Joe Budden for him hating on Drake's $400 million deal, which happens to be a 360 deal. So they'll get money from touring, streams, merch, etc., etc. But what Cardi B has proven that Joe Budden is just a bitter old head who is mad that the people younger than him are succeeding and that he didn't reach these levels of success.
You quit on your passion. You quit on your passion. I'm not going to quit, bro. That's the issue. That's the issue with you. You critique everybody. And stop being a hater, bro. Stop being a fucking hater. If somebody got $400 million fucking dollars for a deal and you talk about, yeah, well, they got to tour this, and that. Nigga, I'll fucking tour till I'm 65 if somebody give me $400 million. $400 million that you don't have. Stop hating on everybody. Everything that somebody do good, you always hate on it. That's bad. That's terrible. You always hating on something, bro. You always hating on something. You always hating on something. It sets you apart from being a critic from a hater. That's why sometimes I sometimes value academics' point of views because he would say mostly the truth than being a straight up hater. You be a hater. How you hating at a nigga got $400 million? $400 million. I'll tour till I'm 90, nigga.
Joe Budden holds a very important position in hip-hop media because he was a rapper, then a podcaster. So he essentially has seen it all. Now I like Cardi B, and what she said was somewhat valid, but she is a rapper and an artist and a musician first. So with that regard, Joe Budden wouldn't be wrong saying, hey, you haven't released an album in X amount of years, what are you doing? I think in that situation, it's about just hating the messenger and hating the person who's delivering the message. Because what Joe Budden said wasn't entirely wrong. Cardi B just hates Joe, so it comes off as hate. Looking online, it seems like the feeling is mutual that Joe Budden may be over hating on Cardi B and essentially projecting, because maybe deep down he's a bit jealous that Cardi has the ability to not drop another album and still be relevant and successful and rich, because he wasn't afforded that luxury. Now, from let's say late 90s to the early 2010s, if you were dropping an album every 18 months or had a hot single every 6 months, you were pretty much clipped. So I definitely do feel Joe Budden feels way because you have this one female rapper who there's not a lot of the female rappers. She's a very hot artist. She's very successful. It seems like she doesn't do much pertaining towards rap. At least she's with Reebok. She's with Fenty. She's with the Rihanna's brand. She's doing so many collaborations. And that she's still very successful and she doesn't seem like she cares about the craft. Now, some people even defend Joe's point saying Cardi B kind of just made his point when she said she would tour until she was 90 if she was getting $400 million. I'm not saying that he doesn't really believe it. It just may be posturing. But he does continuously make the point that artists are slaves to the dollar. And we know how messed up the record business is. And artists pretty much are slaves to the record. Now, I found this underrated tweet that pretty much summed up the entire situation. The ability to not drop another album and still be relatively successful and rich is a current era thing. Joe's from the early 2000s where artists didn't have that luxury. Ho, Nelly, etc. had to actually release music consistently. There was no streaming or podcast. This is why a lot of the old heads or the OGs where people were upset when academics said they're all broke, they didn't have the luxury of putting out a hit single and going kicking up and doing something. They had to continually work because the machine was just against them. Now in social media, artists can put out money or music whenever they please. And it's a very, I don't want to say a lackluster system, but it's very chill and pretty much ran on cruise control. Now, that's all I have to say for the topic. Jared Star, thank you guys for watching. I'm putting out way more videos now. Consistent. Thank you for the time. I'm gone.